going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and thank you so much for joining us for our instant reaction as the Vikings move to 3-0 in the preseason, getting a 26-3 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it is absolutely hilarious that Kevin O'Connell came into this game winless in the preseason, and now he's going to end this preseason session going 3-0, and vibes are high for the Minnesota Vikings heading into Week 1 versus the New York Giants. But here's how the total stats ended up shaking out in the Vikings' 26-3 victory. Total yards, 293 to 253. First downs were 19-15, and then the Vikings are actually fantastic on third down. Shout out to Jaren Hall for that as they went 12 of 18. Eagles ended up going 4 of 12. One quick note here, I think it is absolutely hilarious how Brian Flores plays these mind games with defenders as countless times today. He lines up 7, 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. The quarterback ends up panicking. He checks to a wide receiver screen, and then it ends up going for 2 yards. It is just the bread and butter for what Flores likes to do. But overall, the Vikings dominated this game. I mean, the time of possession, almost beating them by 11 total minutes. Like, this was just a thumping throughout the entire session today. But, guys, the regular season is here. And with cutdown day being this Tuesday, you don't want to miss a thing, as we also have Vikings players on the trade block for Lewis Cine, Patrick Jones. They could be dealt over the next coming days, so hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a thing around your favorite football team, and also turn those notifications on. As I put the goal of 28K before Week 1, we're just about 100 subscribers away, so hit that sub button. But let's go over some stats from today's game. So scoreboard ended up looking like 26-3 for the Vikings. And you guys see that man right there, Jaren Hall, 17-25, 190 and 2 touchdowns. We'll dive into him a little more here in a second. But then also Myles Gaskin, he ran very hard in the first half, having 13 carries, 61 yards. Lucky Jackson, he ended up dropping 2 touchdowns, or didn't even end up dropping them. He was just not able to get his second foot down on both of those. But I thought the Vikings defense looked good, kept the Eagles offense in check for a majority of that game. And that is 3 straight preseason games where the Vikings defense really ended up dominating. I'll give you guys a little hot take here on the second half of today's show on my expectations for this defense. But let's dive into Jaren Hall here first. He was fantastic. I think Jaren Hall, he got that one chance against the Green Bay Packers on New Year's Eve last year. He played the first half, and he was terrible. Kevin O'Connell ended up pulling him from that ball game and went back with Nick Mullins. But besides that, we really haven't seen a lot of Jaren Hall. And he put up this performance following his 4 of 5 80-yard, 2-touchdown performance last week versus the Browns. So he's gone 4 touchdowns, no picks, high completion percentage, high yards per attempt as well for Hall over the last 2 weeks. He's looked good. And I think the biggest takeaway from his performance, he is locked up quarterback 3. There will be no competition between him and Matt Corral. As Matt Corral, I don't want to say he stunk it up today, but, I think the stats don't lie with him. And, Corral was 4 of 6, 13 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions in the ball game today. And, he just necessarily didn't handle pressure well. Eagles were able to get home very, very fast. And, it's not a discredit to him of what he did today, but I thought he just lost that game because Jaren Hall went out and took that spot from him. So I'm assuming the Vikings, I'm going to say they keep 3 quarterbacks on their 53-man roster. Maybe they go 2 and hope Jaren Hall is that emergency quarterback and he clears waivers and he's on the practice squad, but that's what I'm going to assume so far. But, you got to give credit to the run game here. Myles Gaskin, he ran hard, man. And, you look at this Vikings running back group as a whole, like Aaron Jones will be getting 75% of the carries throughout the season. You're going to have Ty Chandler worked in there. Hopefully Kene Wangu gets some, gadget type of plays this season. But if something were to happen to Jones or Chandler, feel confident that Gaskin's able to step in and, produce for this offense. But how about 7th-round pick for last year? Even though the stats aren't going to blow you away, I feel like he ran hard in the second half, 11 carries, 34 yards. He's typical bulldozer-esque running back. And if you guys forget, Dwayne McBride ran over 7 yards a carry his senior year at UAB. The talent is there. It's just going to come down to opportunity for him with this offense. We got to show love to Lucky Jackson. And, both of the Jackson bros, like Tristan Jackson found the end zone today, 3 touchdowns in 3 preseason games. Then Lucky Jackson, he should have had 2 touchdowns today. He just couldn't get that second foot down. But, you saw the pop, you saw the potential with him there. And then also N'Keal Harry, man. He had that huge play up the seam on a 3rd and long in the first half. Jaren Hall was able to connect with him. And, N'Keal Harry is one of those guys where, maybe he didn't end up working out at wide receiver, but he had the talent to be a first-round pick for a reason. Maybe he just needs to play tight end. Maybe he steps in as the, receiving tight end role on this offense with T.J. Hockenson missing time. So maybe N'Keal Harry ends up making this team. I don't know who they would choose between Nick Muse and Harry, but, we'll have to wait and see on that. And then also Dwayne McBride also caught 2 balls for 27 yards in the pass-catching department today. But we just went over a bunch of winners from today's game, but you guys just got to give me one down in the comments section. Who was the biggest winner versus the Eagles today? Who played their best football? If I had to say one, probably going Jaren Hall, man. He absolutely lit it up. So if you guys want to let me know who are your thoughts on the biggest winner versus the Eagles today. Now, I do want to give a massive shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app and use promo code CLNS, we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $100. So if you guys put $50 into your account, we'll get you guys $50 free to play with. Now, PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Now, PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. And all you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and become part of the PrizePicks community today. So download the PrizePicks app and use that promo code CLNS, and we will match your first deposit up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. I'll put that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. But PrizePicks, run your game. If you guys want to add any more juice to your viewing experience, PrizePicks is the best way to do so. So I want to look at some of the Eagles stats from today as, I want to get to a take that I have around the Vikings defense. Now, the Vikings defense, I think if you look at it as a whole, there really is no glaring positional weakness. You would have said the cornerback room before the signing of Stephon Gilmore, but more likely than not, during a just base defensive set for the Vikings, you're going to run 2 cornerbacks out there, and it's probably going to be Byron Murphy and Stephon Gilmore. I feel comfortable with those 2. Then you start looking at this edge department with Dallas Turner, how good he looked week 1 versus the Raiders. With Jonathan Grenard having 12.5 sacks in 14 games last season. You got the solid veteran presence on the interior of the line in Harrison Phillips, and you got the young and up-and-coming guy in Jerry Tillery. Then you kick it to the linebackers. You got Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace, and then in my opinion, you got one of the best safety trios in the National Football League in Smith, Metellus, and Bynum. Point being here, I think the Vikings defense is going to be undisputed top 10 in the league. I just can't see a situation where this defense gets gashed week in, week out. In my opinion, you have one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. You got talent across the board, and maybe you don't have, that Myles Garrett or that, Sauce Gardner, that true blue chip player on that side of the football, but you got about 7 to 8 guys who are all B+ at that position. And if you combine that with the likes of Brian Flores manning that group, I think this team could be really special on that side of the ball. And it kind of gets me to this. Let's just say Flores does have a top 10 defense. And let's just say Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson are able to get this offense top 15. And you're able to really support Sam Darnold. He plays some of the best football he's ever played in his career. This team has a chance to make the playoffs. You won't hear about it. If you listen to the national media, if you listen to just, these talking heads on ESPN, Fox Sports, they will never say the Vikings will even finish 3rd in the division because the Lions and Packers have a ton of hype. And we obviously know the hype around the Chicago Bears and around Caleb Williams. You look at any prediction for this division, Vikings will be finishing dead last. I think that's a ludicrous take. I think they're going to be a better football team than a whole lot of us think. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, our instant reaction over the Week 3 preseason victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, give me a skull down below in the comments section, and thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if you guys want more Vikings content on your Twitter, that's a handle right there, @PatSeeps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.